Today, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump brought the circus to Indianapolis. They brought the circus to Indianapolis in the chaos. And why did they do that? Because they are afraid of checks and balances. And they are afraid that they know that their policies have hurt individuals. Their bill, for the first time in the history of the United States, steals money from the working class and gives it to the wealthy. Their bill cuts Medicare and Medicaid and health care coverage, a program that's designed to heal people when it comes to health care and mental health. But instead, it gives tax cuts to the most wealthy and the biggest corporations. And what they're doing also to our veterans is absolutely cutting funding. As a member of Congress, we passed a bill which was the Honor the Pact Act, which increased health care for veterans, which increased service-connected disability to hundreds of thousands of veterans, men and women who served our country. They cut that. There'll be longer lines in the health care for the VAs. There will be longer call times for suicide prevention. There will be longer times for veterans to see specialists. And so why are they here today? Because they're afraid of checks and balances. So the Vance-Trump team also in healthcare is going to cut federally qualified health centers. What that's going to do is if you are employed and you have a high deductible and you go there for a sliding scale and you can't afford healthcare, you will have more risk. Our emergency rooms are going to be fuller. There is factual information that rural hospitals are going to be cut and there's going to be less access to health care because of the Vance-Trump administration and the passing of their bills. So they are afraid. They are afraid to face the voters, so now they want to redistrict to do that. Make it perfectly clear, it isn't about me as a member of Congress. Well, as a member of Congress, what I have done is I stood up for union labor and making sure that they have a good job. And I've done that with a fierce passion of understanding that no one in that administration is. I'm going to use one case in point. They gave up our greatest asset in U.S. Steel to an unfriendly competitor that breaks our trade laws. And in that executive order, when Trump gave his word to the United Steelworkers, I have your back, he turned his back on them. And how he did that is he cut the ability to collectively bargain in the executive order to the steelworkers. That's what you get with this administration. I fight hard for the steelworkers, for the steel industry, and for fair trade. And I want to make sure our domestic manufacturing continues. In our state of Indiana, they cut a contract at AM General, $1 billion contract that is a Humvee manufacturer by the UAW workforce, the longest workforce UAW in the history of the country. They cut billions of dollars because they want to take away a Humvee that protects our warfighters and put them in a golf cart-like battle place that will not protect our warfighters. They are diminishing our domestic manufacturing and taking away American jobs. So here we are. What is their plan? They're afraid of checks and balances. They are afraid of the polling that they see, and they want to redistrict things. So it's not about me, it's about the voice and the people that I represent. It's about making sure that we create work and wealth, that people have access to health care and mental health, and that union labor is be able to up all the different shifts and be able to provide a good wage, a pension, and health care, and that our young have a future in education. So everyday people, the activists, you should be concerned. The parents taking their kids back to school, they're not concerned about this. This is political. This is political. The teachers who have to pay to be able to decorate their classes, this isn't on the top of their list. But the voice that we have in Washington and the impact, the negative impact that they have had on our country, eliminating due process, that's only a tragedy if it happens to you or your family. And it's coming for a lot of people. Eliminating due process, eliminating women's reproductive rights. That is not right. I have 2 daughters. I want to make sure that they're equal in the United States and in Indiana. So here's the bottom line. My father served in this Senate for 40 years. I don't have a lot of confidence. I know very confidently, and I believe humbly, that this is a done deal. That this is a done deal. And what I want to say is, no matter if Governor Braun bends a knee to Vance and Trump, it isn't going to increase his prospect of being a president of the United States. And I'm going to give him a little bit of political advice. No matter what you do to bend the knee to that organization, your lieutenant governor is still going to run to the right of you, right under your nose. And so in this House, what you have going on where they close session, if you are a mayor, if you are a county commissioner, if you are a councilman or a township trustee, they cut your public funding for police and fire by 80%. Call them for their special session to make sure your voice is heard. They can take that up too. They can fix defunding police and fire, and they can fix to make sure that people's utility bills that have skyrocketed 40% are addressed, and their car insurance. Bottom line is the voters and everyday people in Indiana and across America believe in bipartisanship. This will not change me. I have example after example after example that I've worked with Governor Holcomb, Governor Braun, and other U.S. senators. I have had an open door policy. The American Rescue Plan brought in billions of dollars. They washed that money, they call it ready money, and they will brag to you that they have created hundreds of millions of dollars of economic development with funds that I voted for and they voted against.
Right.
They have taken opportunities such as a new energy plant in my district and taken away that tax credit. That's 16,000 construction jobs to my building trades of Northwest Indiana. So they've tried to erase history. They've tried to do everything they can to intimidate. I ask the state legislatures and the moderates of Indiana and those who believe in checks and balances in our government to stand up to them and not to bend the knee. And I am Frank J. Mrvan. And no matter what district they put me in, I will fight for working class people. I will fight for a fair education.